Hi, Collective. Welcome back to Shadow Work Part 1 series. Welcome back to our Shadow Work series this week, Collective. Welcome back, all of my current subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. You guys have been absolutely incredible with the love and support that you have shown. I love that you guys are loving the Shadow Work series. I think Shadow Work is so important. It's important so that you understand the things that are blocking you from attracting the things that you really want in life, really living the life that you want to live by healing those things that are in our subconscious that we are not always aware of that hold us back in different ways, whether that's through fear, anxiety, trauma from our childhood, right? So thank you for allowing me to try to work with you, grow with you, heal with you, collective, through this journey. And as we all work through parts of our shadow. So let's start. Let's see what's the most important energy this week. Wow. Unseen patterns, shamed for being you. So very strong energy, as you saw the cards flip out here. Again, just confirmation of what I was just saying. You know, most of the time, our shadow are things that we don't even recognize. It's not common knowledge, right? That we're given as we are going through life, as we are going through our trials and tribulations. We understand that we all have a journey, but sometimes we don't understand those aspects of us that make us act in a certain way, those things that trigger us. We don't understand why we're triggered by certain things that people say, certain things people wear, the way certain people act towards us, right? Those are those unseen patterns. In order to heal those, we have to be able to change our thoughts around it, change our perspective around them, and it begins to change your life. It is about reprogramming, though, those limiting beliefs, those things that, again, we only know. Because, like I say all the time, knowledge is power, right? So, if you don't have the knowledge or the different perspective or a different opinion about a certain behavior or characteristic, then there's no other way for you to see it or think about it. So, this is why we do this collective. So, yes, we work on figuring out those unseen patterns that make us who we are so we can try to work on reprogramming that mindset. Shamed for being you, humiliation, inner critic, identity suppression. This comes from not being supported in your authenticity starting from a very, very young age. Everyone deals with going through elementary school, junior high school, dealing with kids that are bullies, people trying to make you feel like you are not one of the, in crowd because you dress a little bit different, because you look a little bit different, because you like different things. People try to shame you. And I feel like that comes from a place of their own insecurity. And I think that is the perspective that needs to be understood, because somebody who is comfortable in their own authenticity is not going to be concerned about somebody else's, right? If we really, really think about it. So, somebody who spends a lot of time focusing on what they feel you should be ashamed of, that is an insecurity in that person. It's a projection. Escape from stillness, distraction, inner turmoil, avoidance. Most of the time, people have a hard time being alone, sitting by themselves, looking at themselves in the mirror. And so they do everything they can to distract their mind, to keep their mind busy and focused on other things other than themselves. This is avoidance behavior. This doesn't allow you to face your fears. This doesn't allow you to look at your shadow aspects of self in order to heal them. This is you running away from trauma, suppressing the feelings of trauma. And all it does is fester, and it shows in different ways in your behavior. So it can't be avoided. Yeah. Spirit awakening. Sit with your shadows. Exactly. It's the way to enlightenment. Thank you for the confirmation, spirit, intuition, and spirituality. Sitting with yourself and truly looking at those aspects of yourself that you know burden you. You'll understand that it comes from a place of origin. It has nothing to do with you doing something wrong. It is a behavior that's been learned or adopted based on the environment that you grew up in. So don't be afraid to sit down and truly look at where it began. It's not about blaming yourself, it is about acknowledging who you are and why you are the way you are, so that you can learn to dance with your shadow, so you can balance with it better. Yeah, you are worthy by being. Inherent value, enoughness, and identity. Exactly. So addressing your shadow, it has nothing to do with you not being enough. You are always enough, collective. This is about you being able to balance with yourself. This is about you being able to understand your own emotions in order to have that level of emotional intelligence to deal with your emotions instead of being codependent on other people to help you deal with your emotions. Emotions are already a complicated thing in and of themselves. So we shouldn't expect others to make us feel good about ourselves. We should feel good about ourselves, regardless of what our shadow and light side portrays about us. As long as you understand it and you can balance with it, right? You can move forward in life confidently. And then other people will be able to respect it. Yeah. There's no need for you to try to be perfect. Pressure, shame avoidance, hypercriticism, this doesn't exist. It is an illusion, but it is why people feel bad about themselves. It is why people are so hard on themselves, because they're trying to fit into a mold that is not meant for them. Everybody has a journey, everybody has a path that is very individual to you. Your path should not ever be somebody else's path because somebody else's path looks good to you. But just because somebody else's path looks good, you have no idea what it took for them to get on that path, and you probably couldn't survive that particular journey because it's not meant for you to. This is where the blockages come in. This is where you don't find abundance because you are not on the path you are meant to be on, because you are trying to be a perfectionist and doing something you're not supposed to be doing anyway. What else? Yeah. Face those inner demons. Don't be afraid of darkness. There's a light nearby always. Collective. Transform. Integrate. It's time. Forgotten needs. Neglect, suppression, yearning for care. This is why most people act out. This is why people are overgivers and people pleasers, because from a very young age, their needs were not met. They were not nurtured. They were not supported. They were not shown unconditional love. Forgiveness sets you free, release, unhooking, and peace. Yes. Forgiveness is not about the other person or other people involved in any situation. Forgiveness is about you forgiving you. It is about you allowing yourself to be released from the burden, the pain, the feeling of going through that situation. Pain is temporary. It is not meant to be held onto forever. It is meant to teach you something so that you can take the wisdom and knowledge from it and apply it to life, so you know how to move the next time in that same situation. It's not meant to be held. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know at the time until you knew it. When you know better, you do better, or you should. So this is about forgiving you, even if you cannot forgive the other person. Sometimes you have to let the other person be forgiven by God. Overreacting, flooded, panic, past echo. Again, this is contributed to needing validation, needing attention, being hypersensitive to someone's words or actions. And again, that comes from somewhere, right? And that's the point. Every behavior or reaction or emotion that we feel stems from some place of origin. So the key to really working on your shadow is trying to understand that origin. Because once you can understand that origin, right, you now know where to place the beginning, the people involved, the situation that brought you to this moment. Overreacting is like also having anxiety, an overactive mind, always thinking the worst, expecting the worst, fear of success, self sabotage. People actually fear success. And confirmation. Pain is a teacher. Recognition, expression, and growth. That is the purpose of pain. It is not meant to be held on to forever. It is not meant to stay a part of your life forever. It is meant to teach so you can learn, so you can recognize and know how to move. So, what can we do to embrace some of our shadows, collective? Dark night of the soul. Huh. Yeah, perfect response. You are undergoing deep transformation. Trust that this darkness is leading to light. If you are in the midst of a dark night of the soul, understand that it is the path towards the light, because again, you need to face your shadow in order to understand your light. Understanding your shadow allows you to balance better with your light side. It doesn't feel good going through it, but it is worth it if you allow it yourself. Breaking mental chains. Old belief systems can keep you stuck. Be willing to challenge and rewrite them. Old belief systems, right? Those unseen patterns, those old beliefs. It's time to break those chains, generational curses that keep you stuck. Codependency patterns. Evaluate where you rely on others for emotional stability, and you need to reclaim your own power. Shadow integration. Healing comes when you stop fighting your darkness and instead learn from it. Thank you, Spirit. Learn from it. Everything gives you a different level of wisdom and knowledge about who you are as a person. Everyone has a choice every single day. Free will to be better, to want to grow, to want to heal. And it doesn't mean that it's easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to teach you something that makes you stronger. See, when we watch movies and we see people who have to survive out in the wilderness alone because they're now stranded on an island, those challenges that they face are meant to make them grow and get stronger so that they can survive the wilderness that they are in. That is what life does. It allows you to learn from the pain so you can learn to survive in this wilderness we call life. It has purpose. It's not just there to hurt you, it's there to teach you so that you can become the master of self. Self sabotage awareness. Where are you unconsciously blocking your own growth? Identify the patterns. Fear of success. strength and vulnerability. True courage is allowing yourself to be seen even in your raw state. The guilt trap. Release unnecessary guilt. Self-blame keeps you chained to cycles of suffering. Exactly. Forgive yourself. Forgiveness sets you free. So some of you guys are stuck in this guilt trap where you need to release this unnecessary guilt that you feel and self-blame because it's just keeping you stuck in cycles of suffering. The perfectionism trap. Again, so this is for my collective who's really struggling with feeling like they need to be perfect, whether that is for yourself, whether that is for your parents, whether that is for your friends. Perfectionism should never be projected onto another person because not one person, not one human being is perfect. Not one. It's time to break these karmic cycles, recognize repeating patterns, and take action to break generational wounds. Pain is a teacher. Guilt is a trap. Perfectionism is an illusion. It's time to break those unseen generational curses and patterns and surrender to change, collective. Surrender to change. Let's get you a couple of the archangels that can help you this week with your shadow work. That's going to be important to my collective. What are the most important archangels to help the collective this week with their shadow work? You guys make sure that you are saving these videos so that you can reference the archangels and their purpose. Okay, who's important for the collective this week? Jeremiah, Archangel. The number 29 could be significant. The number 11 could be significant. Scorpio energy, angel of symbols and dreams, life lessons, emotional connection, visions, claircognizance, speaks through signs. When you feel stuck and need guidance, ask me for dreams to give you clarity on what course of action to take. Amethyst crystal, 1 month from now, look for a sign. What other archangels? Okay. Archangel Barachiel, beautiful. Number 31 is significant. The number 13. Pisces energy, divine angel of blessings, showers of heavenly love, intercession, good fortune, removes blocks to success. Look at that, fear of success. So this is your archangel. If you have a fear of success or you self-sabotage, I can help you become a generous channel through which God will pour a fountain of blessings into people's lives. Unakite crystal, February is significant. Opportunity awaits. Beautiful. Beautiful. Archangel Jehudiel, number 24 could be significant, or 42. Virgo energy, angel of work and confidence, purpose, efficient, motivated, new ideas, projects, expedite, experience, focused. I will help you with projects, choosing a vocation, or when you feel overwhelmed with work. Adamite crystal, spring is significant. Don't procrastinate. And then you have Archangel Raguel, keeper of the Akashic records. Balance, peace, meditate according to plan, divine order, sacred knowledge, research. I bring balance, order, and justice to those who ask and who desire to follow God's plan for their lives. Aquamarine crystal, 2 weeks from now, get more information. Okay, those are your archangels. Let me get you your animal spirit message to close this out for you guys this week. Okay. Wolf and hummingbird. So we have earth and air. So earth energy, earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and then air signs, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. All right. So let's start with our air sign, hummingbird. Hummingbird, positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. Wolf, guardian of family and tribe, activism and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching, whether religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. You guys are all part of my wolf pack. Everyone. No one is excluded from the collective. And it doesn't matter what part or what place you are in your healing journey. Like I said in my description, if you decided to be here, it's because you are ready to at least look at it. Healing is not about perfectionism. It doesn't happen overnight. It is something that continues throughout your lifetime. And the most important part of healing is to understand that you're never alone in your healing journey. There is no right or wrong way. It is just about understanding and acknowledging, choosing to be better and do better instead of being bitter and staying in a victim mindset. It is about choosing to be positive and to understand yourself so that you can be giving to yourself more, first and foremost, self love, but also understanding how to better give to others in your life. This is what I have for you, collective. Thank you for being here with me on Shadow Work Part 1. I hope I see you guys in Shadow Work Part 2. But if this is where I leave you, thank you so much for being here with me. And until next time, you guys, bye.